Vine woke up early, even earlier than her husband, whom she could never beat in that. He would usually wake up and go for a morning jog or work out before leaving for office. And when he returned home, he would sit beside her, brush his fingers through her hair, and wake her up with his kisses and sweet whispers. So when she found him still sleeping beside her, she exclaimed in victory. She was still sleepy, but she could always manage that. She slowly got off the bed and went to freshen up. Once she was back, she made sure she was looking all ready for him to have a beautiful first sight as plus point. Well, men loved when their women got ready specially for them. When it was his time to wake up, she took a seat beside him. He was laying on his stomach, so she left kisses all over his shoulder and neck, which was enough to wake him up. Wine, morning baby. She ruffled his hair before he turned around, and as soon as he looked at her, his sleep was gone. He had to look at the time once and then at her to believe his eyes. Jungkook, princess, where are you going this early in the morning? Wine, I'm not going anywhere. You're so bad at it. She landed a light slap on his chest, which was never included in the routine, but a little here and there should be fine. Jungkook, okay, sorry. Come here. I love it. He chuckled and sat up, kissing her jaw. Vine held his hand since she couldn't pick him up. She pulled him out of the bed and left him in the washroom near the faucet. Vine, shower up and I'll make breakfast. Jungkook, I'll do that. She shushed him up mid sentence and pointed at him to shower with a very scary glare, which again was never planned. When she left, Jungkook had one dumbfounded expression on his face. He would always make breakfast on weekends. First, she woke up early, which was like sun rising from the other pole. Then she got ready, and now breakfast. He wondered if she hit her head somewhere. He almost considered taking her to a doctor, but for now, he decided to enjoy the affection. Once he left for kitchen, he found her setting table, so he decided to help along. Wine sat on the table while Jungkook on the chair, like they did always, their comfy place. He randomly caressed her leg as they ate along. Wine, do you want to go somewhere today? Shopping, movies, beach, anywhere? If it was what he thought it was, he was slowly starting to get it, repeating his dialogues and all, so he decided to repeat her usual one. Jungkook, home and cuddles. Well, except for sometimes when she's feeling like emptying his black card and exploring the world. Her lips slightly curled in a smile, realized he knew what she was trying to do before she went back to her normal expressions. One, think again. You won't get this offer again. Jungkook thought. He shrugged and continued to eat, praising the food along. Wine. Alright, I know how to plan home dates. You're met with an expert. You're welcome. He raised a brow challengingly. No one was doing it better than him, and he would even fight his wife over that. Jungkook, and how are you planning to do that? Wine. We'll order a lot of food and start a long, long series. And then we'll take a break and do lots of skincare, then go back to series. Jungkook's face screamed. He was regretting his life decision. But he had to force a smile before hers dropped. She laughed, satisfied, and squeezed his cheeks before sweetly offering him a bite. Once they were done with food, Jungkook had a clear idea of what her plans were. So he helped her putting the dishes back and walked to his room, sitting on the couch. As Juan was about to make a setup for movies, he placed his legs on the table in front of him and crossed his legs, making a content face. Jungkook, life is great. She almost debated between grabbing a pillow and throwing at his face to grabbing a pillow and using it as a comfort point to sit and admire him whole day long. Wine, of course. Who is your wife after all? He chuckled, admitting to that, and watched her setting the cushions and pillows on the floor instead of on the bed. He just let her do it. Somehow he asked to help her along, but she rejected with a very dramatic yet graceful manner, flipping her hair. Once she was done, she filled the dressing table with a lot of sunscreen products for later use. He stood up, but somehow his heart almost dropped when she found his gun from the drawer and held it. The fact the barrel was pointed at her was enough to almost give him a heart attack on the spot. That thing was loaded, and she had never held it before to know any precautions. He rushed to her to take it back, but she moved it behind her back. Jungkook, give it back, Wine. You don't know how to use it. Wine, I wanna know. She suddenly pointed it at him. He didn't move from his place. All he wanted was that thing to be away from her as quickly as possible. His panic slowly died and heart returned to its normal state when he realized it was the fake gun he got it for her to use it to intimidate anyone trying to hurt her. It almost looked real. She giggled and pecked his lips. Aren't you way too sweet? Jungkook, it's not a joke, princess. Wine. It is. It's my day. I make my jokes and my rules. Do you have a problem, mister? She pointed the gun at him again, and he suddenly grabbed it, throwing it to the other corner of the room, and pinned her against the wall. It happened so quickly, her brain needed some time to process. His fingers wrapped around her neck in a chokehold position, and hand pinned her wrist against the wall. As he leaned in dangerously close to her face, his eyes were too dark and intense. It sent shivers down her spine. Forget about his hands keeping her in place. His eyes were enough to do that work. Jungkook, then be ready for what I'll do to you when this pretty day of yours is over. He whispered in her ear, biting her neck, earning a whimper from her. His grip around her neck tightened a little before he left her and stepped back with a smirk and walked back to the cushion, taking a seat like nothing happened. She needed some time to compose herself and get back beside him. He chuckled and pulled her in his embrace since she was red as tomato. The two enjoyed the series. One episode turned into a lot more as they stayed there for hours. Once they took a break, Wine had Jungkook sitting on the chair in front of mirror and applied a sheet mask on his face. Hers were white while his was black. Wine, what are we doing, baby? She asked while recording a little video of the two. Jungkook, we are changing our faces, he said with a straight face, not liking the sticky feeling. But she laughed, clearly enjoying his torment. She loved how he would do anything for her, whether he liked it or not. She made a pony out of his hair to avoid them from falling on his face, then placed a kiss on his head. Wine, we are doing it often. Jungkook, oh Lord, have mercy. He might be complaining, but he let her do anything since she was enjoying, and all he wanted was her happiness. It might be a day where she planned to treat him like a king, but at the end she knew he won again by racing her heart like no one else could.